Hey, good morning, everybody. Happy Fire Friday to you. Today is Friday, July 19th. July 19th, cruising through the summer. Hope you're having an amazing summer. Hope that all of your closings have been going smoothly and great interactions with all of our co-op agents on the other side of the transaction. Lots of good stuff going on. Love seeing it. Love seeing all the new listings popping on too. People are not done selling for the summer. That is for sure. That's for sure. So it's make hay while the sun shines. So as you guys know, on Fire Fridays, we talk about agent attraction on the EXP platform and all of the ways that takes place, right? What drives that? How do you take advantage of the opportunity to, in our group, FIRE, FYR, right? Fund your reason, and how to understand what your reason is, how to really zero in on that, of what's the life that you're building. And then once you know who you're becoming, where you're going, what you're building, what's important to you in your life, right? Then you need to figure out how to fund it. And we believe that the EXP platform provides the best opportunity in the industry to do that, because there's lots of different ways to not only create that revenue stream, but also to bring other people with you. And the African proverb says, if you want to go fast, go alone, but if you want to go far, go with others, right? And we want to go far, right? We don't want to burn out too fast. All right, so let's have some fun. What I like to do, because you guys get tired of hearing from me all the time, is to bring on other people who are out there doing really, really cool stuff. And I'm blessed to have some amazing relationships and friends in my life with people that are awesome. And so we've been able to bring some great people in here, and I'm super excited. You guys probably know Mike Collier, and he's one of our personal favorites. I know we're not supposed to pick favorites, but Mike, he was up here to speak at the one of the Pennsylvania regional rallies, and we wouldn't let him leave. He had a flight. We captured him in our car, and we made him come over and have dinner with us and spend the night. And he stayed here, and we got up in the morning. Elizabeth Riley was here with us, and Kyle, I think, was over here with us. And we walked down and got Starbucks and all that kind of stuff.
It was a great time.
It was so fun, so fun. But that's what it's about. It's about the relationships and the people. But what's really, really cool is that what Mike's going around and sharing what he's doing because he's finding success, and that's it's a really kind of an indicator of who he is as a human being. As I've gotten to get to know him better and better over the last couple of years, and understanding is, he's an awesome husband, he's an awesome father, he's a great friend, does a lot of really cool stuff. But then I looked at it and he's like, he spent all these years working with Disney, right? And the things that you learn at Disney, the leadership and the customer service and the creativity and all of those things, like what an awesome, proving ground to build your business. So you spent over a decade at Disney. Was it 13 years or something like that?
Yeah, 12 years. Yeah.
12 years. Yeah. So a bunch of time at Disney, learning from there and pouring in there and bringing his own creativity and leadership into that organization. And has been in real estate, has done all kinds of cool stuff in real estate, and has experienced the massive roller coaster of real estate. And I love to hang out with people who have failed gloriously, because I have too, and it makes me feel better. But I believe that we learn a lot by going through stuff and figuring it out, as long as we keep our feet moving. And man, the way the stuff that you're doing now, I was so excited. We were talking the other day and you were telling me what you're doing. So I'm going to shut up and let Mike take over and talk about some of the stuff he's doing. But I want you guys to listen up, because people that have been through the fire, who have tried things and have pivoted and everything else and figured things out, we're all looking at a highway out ahead of us, and we want to get up to speed and we want to go flying down that highway. The problem is there are some trees down, there are some lights, there are some potholes, there are some other stuff and everything else. And when we can hear from someone who's been down that road before and can point those things out to us, we can avoid those things. We can know where we are. We can know where the shortcuts are. We can know where the radar traps are and all that good stuff. And we can cruise and we can go faster. And then we turn around and point it out to the other people coming behind us. So, Mike, my friend, thank you for coming to hang out with us. And I'm going to let you take it away.
So thank you so much, Dave. That's a great analogy too. I love that. Traveling down the road so we can know where the radars are, and it's great if you can kind of if you knew everybody, you can actually kind of let them know, hey, there's a cop up ahead. And I guess that's why we have like ways and stuff. But the old school way that you knew that there was a cop up ahead is that you'd see the dude that got pulled over on the side of the road, and you're like, oh, all right, let me slow down. I was the guy who got pulled over on the side of the road, right? So I've already sped and got pulled over. I got off to the side, but I'm back in the lane and hey, I'm speeding again. It's what I do. But welcome everybody. I'm excited to be your special guest on FYR Fridays. I am with two of my favorite people, and I do say that truly. Dave and Kristen, you guys know, but they're phenomenal. I got some people from my group on here too, so they may not know them, but just servant leaders who care deeply. They care deeply. It's not just about the grabbing up more agents, gobbling up more agents. It's not just about making more money and go, go, go. But it really is about love and passion and doing life with people that you actually want to do life with, a partnership. And that's what I love about what we have at EXP. And that's one of the things that attracts people, I believe, to our brand. So I'll tell you guys a little bit about myself as we get started. I live in Orlando, Florida, the Sunshine State. I'm about 10 minutes away from Walt Disney World. I'm originally from Atlanta, Georgia, born and raised. Whoop, whoop, right? And came down here on the college program, thinking that I was going to. So Disney has a college program where you get to be down here for like 6 months at a time and kind of, take like an hourly job over at Disney and kind of just get some of that Disney experience. And I thought I was only going to be here for 6 months and ended up being here, well, since 2004. I'm still here. So 20 years later, I've turned that into a career and really a launching pad for everything that I did after Disney. But it was a pleasure working there, as you guys can imagine. Being there for 12 years. I know you're probably wondering, like, what did I do? I never had to put a character head on, just if that's what you're wondering. I did check people in at the front desk of some of the nice resorts. I became a concierge manager at one of the nice deluxe resorts. If you're familiar with Disney, any Disney fans in the room today? Walt Disney World, Disneyland. Okay. So Walt Disney World, I was a concierge manager at Disney's Contemporary Resort, that's the first resort at Walt Disney World where you can see it from the Magic Kingdom. So I was a concierge resort manager there. And then I went and became a Walt Disney World ambassador. So I auditioned for this really cool, highly coveted role where they select two Disney ambassadors out of the 65, then it was 65,000 cast members that were working there, and you're selected to become a representative, more of like a spokesperson for the company. And so I did that on a global scale, representing Walt Disney World as a Disney ambassador. And then once I did that, after I did that, I went over into sales. So I started selling Disney Vacation Club. So any Disney Vacation Club members out there, welcome home. I did that. I loved it. I loved it's timeshare. It's Disney's timeshare. I'm a timeshare salesman, right? I've been called worse things. I'm a timeshare salesman, okay? And but what I loved about that is, like, being in front of people and actually being able to close at the table. And I ended up working on board the Disney cruise ships while I was doing that. So I was selling Disney Vacation Club on board the Disney cruise ships, traveling all over the world. Actually, as a matter of fact, in my stories just this morning, it popped up. Facebook gives you those wonderful memories, right? It's like, oh, remember this 11 years ago, 12 years ago? And it was a memory of when my wife and I were in Alaska on an Alaskan cruise through Disney while I was working at Disney. And it was such an awesome place. If you've ever been on an Alaskan cruise, you know. But it was such an awesome place that I actually ended up inviting my wife to fly up, because she didn't come with me on the first week that I was there working. But the second week that I was going to be there working, I was like, I don't want to do this without her. So I flew her up to Alaska, and she got a chance to experience that with me. It was really, really a great time. So I've been as far west as Alaska and as far east as St. Petersburg, Russia, and kind of everywhere in between, you know. Um, but that was pre-real estate. I had to get my real estate license to sell Disney Vacation Club because it is deeded real estate, but that was pre kind of general real estate. So after I ended up leaving Disney, and I left only because I was traveling so much, and I had my daughter, who was then at the time 2 years old in 2016, and I really wanted to be home for those those special moments and not miss those moments. so I decided to, come off of the cruise ships and have a life on land, and started doing real estate investing, flipping homes, flipping mobile homes, doing some hard money lending, lending to investors, wholesaling, did some wholesaling as well, and then in 2019 I stepped into general real estate. But as Dave was kind of alluding to, in that kind of 3 year window from like 2016 when I left Disney to 2019, like a whole bunch of life happened. A whole lot happened. There was a business partner who stole $125,000 from me. There was a whole bunch of stuff. And you know if you've ever found yourself in one of those places where you're just like, man, what just happened? And how do I get out of it? I believe that the way you get out of it is that you just choose joy and you choose to keep on going, right? You choose joy and you just keep on going. It's all a choice. Anybody watch Inside Out? Did you watch Inside Out too? It's so good, right? It's so good. Did you cry? Rick cried. Yeah, a little bit. All right, all right. One tear. Okay, but it's so good. I mean, in the movie, not a spoiler alert, but in Inside Out too. I think it's really apropos as we're talking about this. Like in Inside Out 2, there's new emotions that get introduced, and one of the emotions that gets introduced is anxiety, right? And so we get introduced to anxiety. Here's this like kind of pre-teen girl who is going into her teens, and all of these new emotions and puberty is happening, and I think it's really cool because anxiety kind of takes over, and we get to see what happens. Anxiety's job is to think about all of the things that could go wrong first, and she sees it. Anxiety sees it as a good thing. I'm being protective of my person. So my job is to look at all the things that could go wrong. Joy's job is to think of all the things that could go right. And it's interesting because anxiety kind of takes over and really starts to ruin a lot of stuff. And I don't want to ruin it for any of you guys because I really do believe that every adult should see it, especially if you have kids. But even if you don't, I really do believe it's a really cool deep lesson in there. But anxiety takes over, begins to kind of wreck things, and there comes a point where joy steps back in, and joy says, "Anxiety, let her go." And it was this release, and I got to that point. It was never so much anxiety of worrying about all the things that could go wrong, but in that time where life was slapping me around, it was the first time that I truly felt like a little bit of depression, and it was the first time that I really had to kind of think hard and heavy about like, do I continue to pursue real estate? Do I need to go get a job? Do I need to go, get this W-2 job, and just maybe entrepreneurship isn't for me, right? Maybe it's for other people, but it's not for me. Maybe the levels of success that I was just kind of dreaming about aren't for me. And I had to pray a lot about it. I did a 7-day water fast. I can tell you guys about that at another time. And I was able to snap out of it and really kind of began to soar. And it hasn't been without pitfalls and bumps and bruises along the way that I began to soar. But I can tell you that I chose joy to take over, and so I'm going to share with you guys today. As you go through whatever it is that somebody said that they're meeting with an agent today. Like I think one of the things that and I'll get into this, but one of the things that I make sure that I'm always telling my group of agents who have chosen to partner with me at EXP. We're called Dream Builders. That's what my group is called. And my Dream Builders, one of the things I always talk about is like what makes us special is that we're not only talking about real estate. We're not always just talking about, agent attraction, how to sell more deals. We're actually doing life together. And so we talk about some of the same things that I'm sharing with you guys now. And I think that's one of the things that makes you sticky, right? It makes people want to not only be attracted to you, but stick with you. And so today I want to share with you guys 3 things that I think every single agent should consider, um, embody, and excel at. And that is culture, content, and credibility. If you're taking notes, culture, content, and credibility. Okay. Um, so I all of us have a unique story as to why we came to EXP, why we decided to join, and why we decided to join with the person that we chose to join with. We all have whatever that story is. And I think a lot of it had to, probably, if I had to guess, a lot of it had to do with the fact that you felt like that person cared. You felt like that person cared and didn't just see you as just another number or somebody who could just go out and get a whole bunch of other people. I was talking with an agent yesterday, actually just yesterday evening, and she told me, she said, you know, I was talking to another agent and I've been to their events, and she said, I always feel like whenever we have our meetings, this person is always saying, hey, go get more people. Hey, go get more people. Like we're talking attraction, attraction, attraction. And she goes, that's cool and all, but what about the people that have already been attracted? What about us? Right? Like, don't see me as just somebody who can go out and get more people. What about the people who actually came? And so let's talk about culture. People are attracted to culture. I always say that agents are looking for, most agents are looking for four things. They want training, they want leads, they want accountability, and they want culture, right? Every agent wants to know where they're going to get their leads from. I mean, unless they've been in the business for well over 10 years and they have, you know, a whole book of referral business, but hey, more leads never hurts. They also want training. Hey, is there any new things going on? Hey, what's going on with this whole new buyer broker agreement type of thing that's going on with this commission lawsuit? Who's training me on all of that? They want support. You know, hey, if I go out there and fall on my face, is who's going to be there to help me kind of pick back up and show me that there's no mistake too big that we can't fix, right? Um, one of my mentors, Gil Ramos, always says, you know, I can help you to fix anything. You can do anything stupid, and I can help you fix it. Just don't push an old lady down the steps. I can't fix that, right? Like we can't fix stupid, but we can fix a lot of things. Um, and you know, and so there's these things, these things that people want. But I think when we think of ourselves as an attractor, as an attractor, an agent attractor, I have, just so you guys know, I don't have some huge organization just yet, right? I'm at about 40 agents in my organization. 22 of those are FL are frontline, like that I brought in. So I brought in 22 of my 40, right? And I'm trying to encourage my agents to grow as well, right? And show them the power that comes with being on this platform. I don't want them just selling homes, but if that's what they choose to do, that's what they choose to do. But I try to always remember that I am the leader, and I try to be the leader that I would want to have. And so when I talk about culture, there's really four things that are in the culture bucket that I want you guys to hear me talk about today. One is you have to always, as a leader, and you're setting the culture for your organization as you grow your organization, you have to always be learning. You should always be learning. Your group should be able to ask you, hey, what podcast are you listening to right now? You should have it. What book have you read? Hey, I'm thinking about, you know, I'm trying to figure out these lead generation strategies. Do you have any ideas on where I should go for that? You should at least be able to connect them with someone. You should be able to, you know, have them listening to a podcast, maybe point to a YouTube video, maybe give them a book that you're reading or that really helped shape your mindset, right? You know, one of the things when we start talking about like attraction, one of the books that a lot of people go to is Go Pro, right? By Eric Worre, right? Great book. If you've never been a part of a multi-level marketing style, you know, organization, it's a great book to read, right? Go Pro. So you should always be learning as the leader. As the leader, you should always be going to events. Number two, going to events. We've got Build coming up. If you guys haven't heard about Build, I don't know why, but Dave and Kristen are doing some pretty heavy lifting on getting Build done, and you should be there. Most of you guys said that you're going to be there, so there's that. But you know, as a leader, as a budding leader, when I only had 3 people in my organization, guess what? I never missed an Orlando shareholders meeting. I never missed an EXPCon. Plus, by the way, if you didn't know, EXPCon is happening in Miami, Florida this year. So if you don't come to that, like, what are you even doing? You know? I mean, Miami in October, it's not even gonna be all that hot. It's gonna be hot, but it ain't gonna be all like it ain't gonna be all this hot. What are you even doing? You got to get there. Bring the family, whatever, right? Be there though. But you should be going to events, you know, um, and be looking for more events to go to. Your group, the people that want to join you, want to see you going to events. Um, they also, number three, they want to see you taking action. Action taking has to be a large part of the culture that you are creating. We believe that massive action gets massive results. Massive action gets massive results. So the bigger the action you take, the bigger results you're going to get. The more people you talk to, the more people, agents you will attract. Right? The more big deals you go after, the more big deals you're going to close. Number four, recognition. A culture of recognition. How are you recognizing the agents who are not only joining you, coming to be a part of your organization, but the ones who are still, listen, we're still real estate agents. There's very few people who are truly sitting back and all they do is attract. Contrary to popular belief, right? They think all agents, all EXP agents, all we do is sit back and attract, right? That's not how this thing works. There's no money made if all we do is attract. Production is the best attractor, right? Production is the best attraction. And so everybody wants to, most of these agents, I should say 99% of agents want to sell more, right? They want to make more money. Maybe they can sell less and make more if you can show them how to do that even. But how are you recognizing the ones who are, closing deals? Maybe they closed their first deal. Maybe they closed their second deal. Maybe they capped for the first time. Do you have any agents that are in your organization who are on their way or have hit the icon status, right? Become an EXP icon. Have you considered how to recognize them? I will tell you, I wish I did a better job of that myself. None of these, I don't know the things that I'm going to share with you today. I don't know that anybody has every single one nailed down and they don't have any processes to improve. This is a constant improvement. This is continuous improvement. But you do need to consider how are you going to be recognizing people, and you got to also understand in that people want to be recognized. Like the way that you want to be recognized is different than the way that some other people want to be recognized. So finding out how they want to be recognized is actually important because you want to make it special to them, not just a trumpet. Hey, I got another icon in my group. How do they want to be recognized? As a Walt Disney World ambassador, one of the things that I had to do was um, one of the things I got to do was recognize cast members who had been at the company for 5 years, 10 years, 15 years, or even longer. And we come and some of them, um, it usually involved us coming into their workplace, and it was a surprise to them. Their managers, their leaders set it up, and I would come in as the ambassador, and we'd have this big thing, and I'd read this certificate out, and all of their coworkers are there, fellow cast members are there listening, and then I would present them with this ambassador pin. It was a special ambassador pin for that special moment, and it was a really cool moment. And everybody be taking photos. But I'll never forget, like there were some cast members who were like, I don't want any of that. Like I know you guys do this whole big pomp and circumstance. I've seen it for other people. There were some agents, or there were some agents. There were some cast members who were just so private they didn't want the public recognition. So there were times where we had to go into the manager's office, and it was literally me, the manager, and that cast member. And I would recognize them personally. And it's a quiet little thing. And that made them feel like they were on top of the world. They would have been absolutely embarrassed. They would have gone in a corner. They would have cried the rest of the day had it been some big pomp and circumstance. So do you know how each of the agents that are in your organization, um, how they want to be recognized? That's important. And then lastly, in this culture piece, if you're taking notes, number 5 is no limits. You should have a culture of there being no limit to what agents are capable of. It should be one of those things where they hear you talk, maybe they see some of your actions and they're like, I never even thought about being able to do that. I never even thought about creating another company, maybe a property management company, right? To vertically integrate all of the investors that I work with. And now I can do, there's a guy out of my office. His name is Rancel. Rancel Acevedo, fantastic individual. Young guy. Think Rancel just turned, I think he just turned 28. Okay. Um, Roncel it has his own YouTube channel. I remember when he started his YouTube channel, his real estate YouTube channel in our office. And it was one of those things where like some people had kind of heard of maybe starting a YouTube channel. There was obviously agents who did it, who have a YouTube channel, but he was the first one that was like, hey, I'm gonna go all in on this thing. We're like kind of, eating our popcorn, let's watch the show. And he started growing this channel all in Spanish, by the way. It's a Spanish speaking channel. He starts growing this channel, and before you know it, he starts creating so many leads, getting so many sales. He has to create a team. He starts building a team. Now his team is a YouTube team, so you have to have a YouTube channel in order to join his team, and you have to drop so many videos, and you have to close so many deals per month in order. And so he has like I don't know now 10 maybe 10 people on his team. They're closing I don't know, 30 deals a month, right? From his team, all because they're all doing this YouTube strategy. Now, if you thought that wasn't a lot, that is a lot. But he's leveled up. So not only has he begun making a lot of money because he's leading great leaders, but he's starting to use that money to buy investment properties. And so he's buying investment properties. He's bought as far as I know, he has 4 investment properties. Each of them were 3 or 4 bedroom unit homes, right? Single family homes, which he then buys a 3 bedroom. He chops it up, puts walls, puts kitchenettes in there, makes sure that each area has a bathroom, rents out each one of them for $1,000 each. Now, instead of making $1,800 off of a 3 bedroom or $2,100 off of a 3 bedroom rental, he's making $3,000 off of a 3 bedroom. He has some that he's chopped into 6 bedrooms and has this whole thing set up. He's making like 6 grand off of one single family home. He has 4 of those. He's 28. Then, if that wasn't enough, he decides that he's always been kind of fit, but he decides, you know what? I can be more fit. So he starts getting more fit and gets into jujitsu, Brazilian jiu-jitsu. Okay, I can't even say it right. Right? And here he is on the floor. This kid, I call him a kid. This kid is winning like tournament championships, winning. Like he's like shooting all this video, and you're seeing him on the podium getting number 1 gold medals almost every single time he's competing. He actually showed us where his ranking is in like the national whatever it is, national jujitsu whatever. Um, and he's like number 1 on this ranking that he's in. It is absolutely amazing. That is what I call a no limit soldier. That's what I call a no limit soldier. So imagine the people who are following him, the people who are attracted to him, they're looking at him saying, man, that's who I want to follow. Right? He's never going to tell one of his agents, you know what? I don't think you should focus on that. I think you should really be, I think you should, don't try that. That's a little risky. Eesh, I don't know about that. Please. This guy's like, go. I got you. That's the kind of people that you want leading you. So that's the culture piece. The next part is content. Let's talk about content. How many of you all, by show of hands, those of you guys at least who have your screen on, your camera on, how many of you all are creating content and putting out consistent content on social media, YouTube? Okay, definitely not enough hands went up. That's okay. But here's the thing. Even if your hand didn't go up, how many of you guys know that you should be creating more content for more people to see? Okay, every hand goes up. Okay. All right, mine did too. Content is huge. I don't think there's any wonder why Brent Gove has so many agents in his downline. I mean, I know he's quiet and shy and all, and you never see him on a video. You never see him on a stage, right? You never see live, like live video trainings from him leading his team at just a team meeting with a live stream happening. You never see that, right? Of course you do. Everybody wants to be Brent. Oh, look at the charisma. Oh man, he has so many agents. Oh, he's in Puerto Rico playing golf again. Great. Thanks, Brent. Right? We look at Jay Kinder playing golf in Dorado, right? Like it's what he does. Waits for his phone to ring. But they create a ton of content. And here's how they do it. There's three things in this that I want you guys to know. One, when you're creating content, a lot of people say, well, I don't know what I'm going to shoot. I don't know what I'm going to say. I don't know what to create. Here's a couple things that I would tell you. I'm not going to tell you what to create, but I'm going to tell you the basis on creating more content. Number one, you have to be authentic. You have to strive to be authentic. I know it's easy to say be authentic, and you're like, oh yeah, I can't be anybody but myself. Well, you know what? When the camera comes on, it can be a little different, right? Like before you know it, you're like speaking with an English accent. You're like, I don't know where that came from. That's not even that's not even me, but it sounded good, you know. Or you're using these big words, and you're like, appraisal contingencies of the whatever, right? You start using all of this real estate speak, and then you're just like, man, that didn't land. I don't know why more people didn't gravitate to what I did. Or the people who are like, man, I can't stand the way that I look on video, or I can't stand my voice on video. Here's something I want you guys to think about. I explained this to my daughter the other day. I tell this to agents when I'm teaching, because I teach social media to business owners. But I was teaching this to my daughter the other day, and she like it was my daughter's 10 years old. She just turned 10, and it blew her mind. Think about this. So a lot of people don't like their voice, right? You hear it back on video and you're like, oh my gosh, like I can't stand my voice, right? Here's what I want you to think about. The voice that you hear that you can't stand, and you're like, oh my God, I can't stand the way I sound on video, is the way that you actually sound. That's the voice that everybody else knows to be your voice. You don't know that voice because the voice that you hear when you speak is literally inside of a dome, reverberating around and then hitting your eardrums, making it sound deeper than it actually is. This is why when you hear yourself on video, it's like, man, I didn't know my voice is that high. Because when it's out there, it sounds different than when it does in here. So be happy with your voice. That voice that you have is the voice that everybody knows anyway. That person that you are, you're like, oh gosh, I'm so goofy on video. Well, guess what? People think you're a goofball anyway, right? People think you're clumsy anyway. It's okay. You got to be authentic. So that's one thing. And in that authenticity, it's important. And you guys heard me do a little bit of this as I introduced myself. But it's also very important when you talk about authenticity to reveal some of your story. I truly believe that your story is not for you. Write that down for me. Your story is not for you. That peak that you hit when you hit icon for the first time, or you accomplished that thing and you got that award, or you came in first, or whatever that thing was, that's awesome. And people will congratulate you and applaud you for that. And they're like, oh man, she's amazing. But that valley that you hit, that bump, that bruise that you got, that scar that remains, people need to hear that too. People want to know the good, the bad, and the ugly. Not because they want to be all in your business, but they want to know that they're not alone. And so when you share your story, it may not necessarily resonate with me. You talk about, oh man, I got divorced, and then she tried to take everything, or he tried to take my kids, and whatever. I don't know that story. So it may not necessarily resonate with me. I can empathize, right? I can sympathize, but I cannot necessarily empathize. However, you know, if it's a story about facing bankruptcy and almost losing everything, and having negative money in your bank account and having a business partner steal money from you, um, yeah, I can resonate with that. And so your story is going to hit whoever it's going to hit. And that's what you're trying to do anyway. So it's okay. Be authentic, reveal your story. Number two in this is be bigger. So I say authentic, but I also say be bigger. How do you be authentic, but also be bigger at the same time, Mike? Well, you have to be a bit, you have to choose to be a bigger version of yourself. This goes back to being that no limit soldier that I talked about. Ask yourself where you want to be. And many of you guys probably have it written down. I imagine you do. You have an idea, at least, of where you want to be 5 years from now. Maybe some of you even know where you want to be 10 years from now. Awesome. What do you have to do and who do you have to become in order to be that person that you want to be in 5 or 10 years? How do you have to show up? Do you have to read a certain amount of books in order to be there? Do you have to walk into a room a little bit differently? Do you need to learn how to play golf? Right? Are there some things about you that you know that you would need to improve in order to be the leader that you see yourself or you say that you want to be in 5 to 10 years? If you know those answers, then that's how you have to start showing up as today. You don't start reading the books in 3 years because you know that you need to have read certain books by the time you get to 5 years, right? You start reading the books now. You start building the habits now. That's being the bigger version of your authentic self. A book that I'm reading right now is by Coach Michael Burt. It's called Pray Drive, Prey Drive. Love this book. Love Coach Michael Burt. He's awesome if you guys know him. Um, but one of the things that he's talking about is how do you activate, he's become a master at helping to activate people's prey drive, going after something voraciously, attacking something, going after a goal. What does that look like? You got to be a bigger version of yourself in order to do that. And then number three in that, the last point in content is being present. Being present. So being in the now. Like, what is your demographic concerned about? As you're creating this content, as we're talking about, as you're creating content, who are you speaking to? And what do you want to say? Are you speaking to homeowners? Are you speaking to home buyers? Are we talking to first-time home buyers? Are we talking to move-up buyers? Are we talking to a luxury clientele? Are we talking to first-year or second-year agents? Are we talking to agents who don't even have a license yet? Are we talking to team leaders? Are we talking to brokers, independent brokers? Who are we talking to? And what are their concerns? If you're going to be creating content and you want them to be the ones that are taking up your content, watching your content, then you got to speak their language. You got to talk to them. What are their fears? What are they concerned about? And how can you help them figure that out? Right? That your content should do that. And again, this goes for not only just agents, this also goes for your clients that you're serving. Some of you have a great book of business. You have a great book of business and you rely on that. You're relying on the referrals. Oh yeah, my Sphere, 95% of my 100% of my deals come from Sphere. 50% of mine come from referral. Great. Are you talking to them? Oh yeah, I check in with them every once in a while. Yeah, I understand that, but like, are you talking to them about the fears that they have that go unspoken? You're helping people buy homes. Are you talking about how often that they should have, you know, their AC checked or their roof inspected or whatever, right? Like, are you talking about the fears or concerns that they might have? Are you talking about the rising homeowners insurance rates? And don't even get me started with what Florida is doing with home insurance. It's bad. Okay. Are you talking about property taxes? Are you talking about 1031 exchanges if they're considering selling their home? What might that look like? Helping them save some money. All right. And then the last big bucket that I want to talk about is credibility. Credibility. How do you establish credibility as a leader, as the leader that you want to be, or you say that you want to be 5, 10 years from now? Well, one is you create your own platform. You create your own platform so that people see you on your platform and see you as a credible individual, a credible professional. Dave and Kristen created FYR Fridays. This is a platform. What does it do? It helps establish credibility. Why? Because they're the leaders of it. Who made them the leaders? They did. Who created it? They did. Now it's a thing, right? Exactly. I crown myself king, you know? That's good. Why can't you do the same thing? You know, one of the easiest ways to talk to a camera is to bring somebody else on camera. Like I talk to agents when I teach social media. One of the things that I have them do at the end is usually a surprise, but I have them go live, right? Like literally show them how to go and start a Facebook Live or an Instagram Live, and they like turn the camera towards themselves and we start talking. They go, right? And I tell them it has to be longer than a minute, right? Not hi guys, bye guys, right? Like it has to be longer than a minute. And many times they're like, well, I don't know what to say. I'm so nervous. And I literally palm sweats. I've seen people like, I mean, just flush red. It's just, it's bad. Right. And I say, hey, listen, it's okay. One of the easiest ways to get on camera is to bring somebody on camera with you. So like we do this 3-day boot camp at our office in downtown Orlando. I operate out of an office in downtown Orlando. And we do this 3-day boot camp for new agents that are joining our office. And I teach the social media portion of this boot camp. And I teach day one at the end of day one, and I always tell them like, all right, so it's very simple. Turn your camera on, say, hey guys, I just finished day one of a 3-day boot camp here in Orlando. I'm super excited about this office that I just joined. I'm surrounded by some rock stars, and I met a good friend, and then pull Kristen in there. Hey Kristen, wasn't this awesome? And Kristen's like, yeah, this is awesome. And you're like, whew, I don't have to talk for a little while. Right. So who can you bring in onto your platform that you create? Have you created one? Have you been considering it? I would say most of you as entrepreneurs, you've considered creating something, maybe a podcast, maybe whether it's a TV show, a YouTube show, maybe you've thought about authoring a book. If you author a book, guess what? That's great credibility. Did you know that that book can be an ebook, a 9-page, 7-page, 10-page ebook? If you've created it, it's yours. Guess what? You're credible. People will assume that you know what you're talking about. And you can give it away for free. That's how you get it into more hands. And you can use ChatGPT to help you to create it. It doesn't have to be that hard. I just created I think it's a 17-page ebook on how to purchase the pros and cons and how to purchase vacant land in Florida. Like buying vacant land and choosing a builder and building your home on vacant land. Why? Because a lot of agents don't know how that process actually works. I didn't know a lot about it, but I just helped somebody close on 10 acres just recently, and they had a whole bunch of questions, and I did too. I was like, we in this thing together, man, right? And we closed on 10 acres, and now they're about to build a house, and I connected them with the builder, and now they're about to build the $750,000 home on this, 10-acre piece of land, but they're building a family complex on this acreage. It's like, man, that's the dream. But guess what? That's a dream for a lot of people, especially in a place of unaffordability. With home prices being where they are, people are like, well, shoot, I'd rather just buy land and build. Okay, well, who am I? What agent am I going to have help me? Maybe the agent who wrote an ebook on it. Maybe. So create your own platform. Number 2, leverage other people's platform. Ta-da! I'm here, ain't I? I'm here on FYR Fridays. You're like, man, that guy knows what he's talking. Gosh, that's some good stuff Mike is putting down. Well, I could keep it all in my head, or I can get on other people's platforms and share it and try to help more people. Right? My torch lights your torch. It doesn't put out mine. My candle lights your candle and just creates one big fire. It doesn't put out my fire. That's another reason why I love FYR Fridays. It's like, man, fund your reason, but yes, you know what? This fire, we're building one big fire. My torch is lighting all of your torches. Hopefully, I'm igniting some kind of idea, inspiring something in you that goes, you know what? You're right. I wrote that down. I put a big old star beside it. I'm circling it, and I'm gonna do it. I'm gonna go back to the top. I'm gonna take action because that's the type of leader that I'm. That's the type of organization that I want to create. I invited the agents that are on my team. I invited the agents that are in my group. Only a few of them showed up. That's all right. They didn't take action. But the ones who took action, I appreciate y'all. I see you here. Right. But leveraging other people's platforms, that's one of the easiest ways to build credibility. And then you take that same recording and then you now have it. Right. And now you can chop it up into multiple pieces of content and then you can share it on your platform or other people's platform. Put it on your social media. Right. Help more people. And then lastly, number 3 in credibility is allow others light to shine. So it's one thing to create a platform so that you have credibility, so that you have the stage, but there's something powerful when you create a platform that allows other people to shine. That is where the magic happens. And maybe that's what you need to do. Maybe it doesn't need to be about you. It needs to be about other people. People will always recognize you for recognize. That's one of the reasons why. Listen, we all love. How many of you guys used to watch or maybe you still watch late night talk shows, right? The late like David Letterman, remember all those, right? Jay Leno, all that kind of stuff. What like Johnny Carson? Why did we love that stuff? Well, we loved them. They were cool. They were cool guys. They were all pretty cool. But what did we really love? We love the interviews. Why did everybody love Oprah? Why does everybody love Oprah? Oprah's cool. Mega rich. Love it. Good for her. But she has the couch that Tom Cruise jumped on, right? She has people crying and telling stories that they never told anybody before. Why? Because she invited them onto her platform that she created, and she created wealth beyond our imagination. Went on to create the own network, and now she has her literal own TV network and allow other people's dreams to come to reality on her network that she created. So I think that's the opportunity that we have. We have the opportunity to allow other people to realize their dreams in our own network, in the network that we've created, on the platform that we've created. EXP is the most agent-centric company in the world. Nobody can deny that. Nobody can argue that. And so the light shines on you, the agent, because we're the majority shareholders of this company. The light shines on you. If you don't sell homes and you're not attracting agents who are selling homes, nobody makes any money. And we're not the most profitable company, a real estate company in the world. We're not the fastest growing real estate company in the world if those things don't happen. But it's happening and it's because of you. But I would challenge you today to take the same light that's now shining on you and allow it to shine on others. How do you do that? You create an environment of culture, of content, and of credibility. That is the best attraction. That's how it gets really good and really sticky. And when you give that platform to others to allow them to realize their dream, they're going to naturally want to do that for other people. They're going to say, yo, this is good over here. That's how I am with my church. I go to an amazing church in Orlando. It's called Alive Church. You've never seen it. Check them out on YouTube, Instagram, all that kind of stuff. Alive Church, but they're fantastic. Y'all, we always say our saying is one invite can change a life. We believe that one invite can change a life because we understand the culture and the love and everything that we have going on at our church. I'm living proof. I invited one of my colleagues out of my office to come to my church. And then I invited another, I invited probably 10, only about 3 or 4 maybe showed up. But one of the girls who showed up never thought she would even come to church physically. She was like, I watch virtually. I'll just continue to watch. She's a good friend of mine. She loves when I tell this story. So one day I go to church and she comes out. She surprised me. She's there. I didn't even know she was there. She was like, oh, I just thought I was surprised you. I'm like, oh my God, I give her a big old hug. I can't believe you showed up. She's like, yeah. She's like, well, when I was watching online, I just kept on feeling like the message for me. Like I felt like the pastor was talking directly to me. I felt like I needed to be here. So guess what she does? She starts inviting people. While she's inviting people, she invites this other guy. His name is Yondell, right? So Jessica, who I invited, invites this guy named Yondell. Now, Jessica not only invited Yondell, but Jessica also invites her family. Jessica's family ends up coming. Not only does Jessica get baptized, her whole family gets baptized. Yondell starts coming because he said he was looking for a church. Not only did he get baptized, his whole family ends up getting baptized. Yondell is now a budding pastor in training at my church. He's actually stopped selling real estate. And he's like, I felt the calling of God on my life. One invite can change a life. And so the question is, how many people are you inviting to the party? And are you being the leader that you yourself would want to be, or that you see yourself being in 5 to 10 years? And then ask yourself, what could I be doing today to show up as that leader? And that is how we create one big fire. So that's my time, everybody. I appreciate you. Dave, take it away.
There we go. All right, dude, that was awesome. Oh man, that was so fantastic. I have an entire page of notes organized by that was so good. So good. Thank you for sharing that. Seriously, guys, I hope hope you also took good notes. And of course, this is recorded. But before we go, I want to, some people talk about it, some people take action, right? You've decided you're creating a new platform. And so I want people to
Yes.
kind of get an idea when they go, okay, like they go, I love it. I like, man, it really spoke to me and I know I got to go do those things. And then they're like, how do I do it? Right? Like, what do I do? They want to see it. They want to so you said, hey, I know I want to go do this. I'm going to create a new, platform.
Platform.
It's like
That's
a
right. That's
content.
right.
So you were sharing with me, what you're doing. You're creating a YouTube page and you're tying in with your real estate business and you're highlighting your community and all kinds of other stuff. And then you're going to go out there and whether you go to a restaurant and eat the food, whether you go out there
Yeah.
and try pickleball and learn how to play pickleball and right and
Yeah.
get,
Yeah.
take people with you through the experience, but it's going to highlight local businesses and
That's
things
right.
to do in your area as well. And also, of course, you being entrenched as the local kind of mayor of your community, the relationships you have
Yeah.
and how you're living in your area. So you want to share a little bit
Being
about
a
that?
community, yeah, establishing again, going back to culture, content, credibility, right? Establishing that credibility. What I've done is I already have a YouTube channel. It's called Living in Orlando, Florida. I'm going to be rebranded. We're rebranding it and relaunching it, and it's going to be called Discover Central Florida. So if you guys could all go subscribe to Discover Central Florida, I would highly appreciate it. I'm going to be creating some really high quality content. The first episode is probably going to drop here at the end of August. My team is working hard to make sure that happens. We're going to be shooting a little bit today as well. But what I'm doing is I'm highlighting areas throughout Central Florida, well-known and little-known areas throughout Central Florida, where we celebrate and we celebrate the rich history of the areas. We celebrate family fun activities. We celebrate delicious food, and then also yeah, because I gotta hit the food, right? And then also desirable real estate opportunities throughout each area. And so I'm going to be highlighting small businesses and truly shining a light, again, shining a light on the platform that I'm creating on others. Um, and having lunch there, dinner there, breakfast there, whatever, saying you got to try this place, sitting down with the business owner or the manager. And then family fun activities. One of the things that I did out in Claremont, I think you guys will have fun with this one. I did something called jet surfing, which I'd never seen it before. It sounds familiar. It's not the one where the water shoots out and you're like diving into the water and it's throwing you back in there. This actually is like a surfboard with a jetpack attached to the back of it, and you control it with this trigger. And so you're standing up on this jet surfboard, and it's like it goes super fast. It's like a Ducati in the water, right? With no waves, no boat, no nothing.
Do you have the
So
wipeout
we're gonna
shots in
be
there too?
what's that?
You have the wipeout shots in there? Are they included?
I got a wipeout. Yeah, wipeout shot is in there for sure. You know, but doing that and then highlighting some of the real estate in the area. And why am I doing it that way? I could be that agent who's like turning on the camera, which most agents do, walking through on YouTube channel and just going in, hey, today I want to show you a 5 bedroom, 3 bathroom, 2,200 square feet, and then it's like 22 minutes and then we're over, right? Snore fest. Well, there's a lot of people who watch that stuff and they like it. That's cool. But you know what? Burnout is real. I think you can only do, for me and my personality, as you guys can see, like I'm not the type to just be like, it's a 5 bedroom, 3 bath, right? So I have to have fun with what I'm doing. And meeting new people and having fun new experiences. Like I've never been jet surfing before, but I did it. And I got it caught on video, but I also highlighted the business. And so they're going to get more business as a result of it, which means that they're going to invite me to back, so it's this really cool thing that's happening. So I want you guys to definitely tune in on that. But the reason why I created it was because one, I like to have fun. Two, it's going to allow me to kind of travel throughout Central Florida and find out some new places to eat and places to go, things to do. Focus on family fun activities. And then it's also going to ultimately create my, help with my credibility, right? People are going to be like, yo, I don't know, like 85% of my business are relocation clients. These are people who have no idea where they want to move into Florida. They're coming from other states. And so often I get people who are like, oh, I want to move to Florida. I want to move to Orlando, but I want to, I want to look at these areas. And they give me like 3 different areas and all of them are like an hour and a half from each other because they don't know. They just heard of them. Well, now I want to be the reason that they go to YouTube and they're watching these areas throughout Central Florida and like that area seems pretty cool. And then they call me as a result of it. So please go ahead and subscribe to Discover Central Florida.
Yes.
Like it, love it, subscribe to it. You'll see some
Like
other
that
stuff on
idea,
there.
that idea checks so many boxes, right? It's so many boxes. And guys, I don't think Mike would, hate you if you R&D this thing, right? And create your own for your
Why don't you do?
market, for your area, right? But you're building relationships with local business owners, which is something that I've always taught to do because they know everyone, right? They're local, they live in the area. If they own a business, they're running into a whole lot of people. They have all their vendor partners. So they usually have a really big Rolodex, right? They got a database of people and that sort of thing, and they're local and people are coming to them and they can refer you. You're building relationships with all these local business owners as you're doing this, and they want to help you because you're doing something for free. They don't have to pay to have you come in and market their business. You're doing it for them for free. They go, well, what can I do for you? And you go, hey, just tell everyone that I'm the best agent in this area. If anybody, just go tell people, right? And if I'm doing open houses, I'm going to give you some stuff and you hand them out. So you're building these relationships over here. Then in today's environment, there's a lot more work from home, kind of can live anywhere, can maybe don't have to be as close to, where I was before and that kind of stuff. So I can kind of live, I have a little bit more choice in where I go to live. So where should I live? Well, they go, man, this place looks awesome. They have all these great restaurants. There's all this cool, stuff to do. I never thought about living there, but maybe we should check this out. Well, if they found it all through you, who were they going to contact to go check it out? Right. So, I mean, you're doing all of these things that drive business to you and attach people to you and that kind of stuff. And then people see it and they go, this is really cool. Maybe they're not going to move there, but they have a friend. They go, yeah, I'm thinking about moving to Central Florida. And like, oh my gosh, I was just watching this guy and he was doing this thing and he's jet surfing. It's so cool. He's a realtor down there. You got to check him out. It seems like he knows all the people, right? So, I mean, it makes sense. So guys, go follow it, check it out, see if, maybe there's some things you can learn from it and infuse into your business.
Yeah.
And
then lastly, I'm on Instagram. I'm on pretty much all social. So if you want to follow me, follow along. Don't send me a Facebook request because honestly I have a ton of them that I just never really check. And if I don't know you, then I won't accept it. So but follow me on Instagram if you have Instagram. I'm at the Mike Collier. That's it. THE Mike Collier, Collier. I drop content every single day. As a matter of fact, my social media manager, VA, she's actually here on the call.
nice.
So yeah, so we drop content every single day. A lot of it is again along these lines, right? The things that we talked about today. You'll see a lot of my family on there. A lot of people say, well, I don't want to show my family on social media. I hear ladies say that especially, I don't want to show my family on social media because, whatever. So I want to just keep it all professional. But you got to remember, like people do business with people. People do business with people. They're not just wanting to get you just because you're a real estate agent, right? And so if you can be authentic, right, and show some of yourself and what you have going on and the things that you care about, then you'll start to kind of learn about what they care about too. And so you'll see a lot of that content. You'll see my family. You'll see me selling real estate. You'll see me just having fun. And
Love it.
feel free to comment and like those videos too.
Awesome. Mike, thank you so much, man, for being on. So good. So good. Such great stuff. It's really good to see you. Look forward to, we're going to plan something we can get together face to face and hang out. So Kristen and I will be in touch for that. And again, thanks for pouring your time and energy and experience with us, brother. I appreciate it. Have a great weekend. And we'll be talking about pickleball soon.
Yes, pickleball is coming up. Pickleball on an episode near you coming soon.
Yes, love it. Love it.
Take care,
all right,
everybody.
guys.
Thank you so
Love you
much.
all. Thanks for being here. Have a great weekend. Make sure you reach out, follow Mike.
Oh,
thank you so much.
Pamela.
This was
I
awesome.
appreciate that.
See you guys.
Thank you so much.